Hi guys. Welcome to the
Hi.
semifinals chat with us.
We're a little delayed because this lady's been busy like crazy with Tech Week and then opening weekend of the show that she directs, which looks amazing and I can't wait to see it and I hope the snow holds off so I can come and see it.
We're coming on Friday. Woo!
Yes, granted the snow holds off for me.
We're doing Elf the musical, so it's a very fun, good way to get the holiday spirit. If you're in Rochester, New York, come see Elf.
Yeah, over at the Greece Performing Arts Center.
Yes. Tickets are
Very
$12.
can't wait. Can't wait. We are coming on Friday. Granted, the
Hashtag
snow
plug.
keeps. You can plug it. You should plug it. You worked really hard, and those kids work really hard, and been there, done that, and plug it.
I have to say the kids really did like a really nice job. Like I was worried because we didn't have enough, like the normal amount of time because we did a Christmas show. So we had like a full month less. And like the dads really built the set in like 2 weeks in a day. And like it's amazing. And like it came all together. It was very stressful, but it came all together and it's a beautiful show and people are loving it. So
I bet, and that's the thing with with any of these, like it's just anything that is dance, that's acting, that's stage performances. I mean, we see it every week with Dancing with the Stars, like the different set things that they make and the costumes and all of that, and how it's just crazy the amount of things that happen behind the scenes to make these stage performances happen. And yeah, so I mean, definitely shameless plug all you want because it's incredible and yeah, you guys do awesome work. So
it's fun. It's a fun show. It's funny too. It's Elf. Can't go wrong with it.
yes,
But
I love it.
I am also sicker than a dog right now. So I do not have a full voice, and I am going to put this on the record. I watched it Sunday because I couldn't because I was in tech week until then. And even when I watched it, I was really kind of out of it. So don't
It's all
judge me
good.
on my critiques this week, guys.
It's all good. And you know what? Good thing is that it is, it's semifinals week, so I have a feeling we only got five couples to talk about. We can kind of zip through this and let you go to bed. But
Yay.
tomorrow night is the finals. Now, as a reminder, everybody, the finals is 3 hours long.
I know they have it like all night long. I was so excited. I don't have rehearsal. I don't have practice. I'm like, I can come home from school, take a nap, and then watch it.
Can't do that, but I'm gonna stay up and try to stay up and watch it. I might be working out at the same time just so that my body's moving. So it is a 3 hour finale. And yeah, it's gonna be a busy night. All of our stars are back. Um, and it's just gonna be jam-packed. We have freestyle round. Are they doing redemption round?
I don't
Do you know
know.
what the other round is?
It,
Okay. I don't know
it
what the other round is.
probably.
Yeah, I feel like it might be redemption round and then freestyles, and then all of our
Oh,
past
hold on, I can
pros
look
are
at it.
coming back. Not pros, celebrities are coming back too. So
Well, I don't know. Um, I think it's redemption because I learn it. Like I can tell you what they have. Like Chandler's is a jive.
yes.
Ona is doing a jive, and I know like the first time she did the jive, it was rough.
Yes.
So, and
Yep.
like Joey and Jenna's a cha-cha, tango,
Uh-huh.
quick step. So I'm assuming that it's the redemption.
The redemptions. Yep. Yep. I would think so. I feel like we usually do that between like semifinals and finals. So we didn't have it in semifinals. So um yeah. So anyway. All right, well, let's jump in here. So we started our night with Chandler and Brandon with a
Well, we first
salsa.
had the opening number.
Oh yes, the opening number. Oh yes. Okay, wait a minute. Now, if anybody can answer my question, please comment below because I am extremely curious. Why were three dancers in a totally different color and a totally different outfit color than the rest of them?
I told
I
her
got
to
nothing.
ask Sasha and Ezra because they choreographed it.
I
I,
know, and I loved it. I
it
loved
was a
it.
very fun number. Sorry. I
You're
wished it,
okay.
I really wish it was longer. Like it was like a 30-second pupper. I wish it was more like last week's. Um, but it was cute.
It was cute, and I loved the choreography. I just
Mhm.
cannot, for the life of me, figure out why three dancers were in a different color. So seriously, Sasha, Ezra, if you ever watch this or anybody knows, like really knows them and could just ask them why, and
I
I
can
really would love to.
message Sasha.
And just
Sasha follows me on Instagram, so
I just
I'll
I just
DM
gotta
him and
know.
ask him.
I gotta know. Like I couldn't figure it out in that little teeny tiny window. I didn't. I don't know. So that's my big question of the night.
I
I got nothing, but it was
can
cute.
also ask Kristen Burt. She might know too.
Oh yeah, yeah. So all right, now let's go to first dance of the night. Chandler and Brandon with a salsa.
Mhm. One thing I have to say is how they did the lineup because everybody did one Latin dance or one ballroom dance. I like that they didn't like combine them all because it gave you like
Hmm.
different flavors across the board.
Hmm.
So it was like a Latin ballroom, like it wasn't like all ballroom then all Latin.
Right.
So that was kind of nice.
Hmm.
Um, this salsa was a good salsa. Don't get me wrong. The thing that was hard is it was a the song was not made for salsa. The
Nope.
song was a cha-cha.
Yep. And I think that's why we felt that cha-cha vibe through it, and why Derek mentioned that. And yeah, yeah. I
Well,
mean, it
and we're
was super
like
fun.
Derek even mentioned that there wasn't enough salsa like content. And
Right.
the reason why is because it was a cha-cha song.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like I how are you supposed to do all the salsa content where it doesn't match the rhythm of the dance?
Right.
So that's my argument
Little caveat.
on that one. Like that was a very poorly designed song choice to give him a salsa. Although
I
I
agree.
adored her costume. Her costume
Hmm.
was beautiful. That was something different than like I normally see. So I was like, "Oh, that was new and it caught my eye."
Yep. I agree. It was definitely it was a lot of fun nonetheless. So I did love it. All right, let's move on. Joey and Jenna with a foxtrot.
This was beautiful. His frame was fantastic. The hold, um, and
I love,
like
no,
he
go ahead.
did really well too, like following the head and like his shoulders are, but like the content was there. It was really good.
Hmm. I really liked the change in speed and tempo, like how they were. It went fast and it went slow, and I know that is a feel of a foxtrot, but I just felt like it shaped the whole thing really nicely, and really just made the whole dance come together. It was really
It
great. I absolutely loved it.
I really liked the choreography in there too. It was a very musical theater number because it was like I Won't Dance and like yes, it was a remix of it,
Right.
but it was a very fun, showy number. Like I could see that on Broadway. Like it was just
Mm-hmm.
and like the fact Joey's extension
Has
is
gotten so awesome.
phenomenal.
It's so awesome. I
I
love
like
watching like how many things we commented on like through the entire season, and how much he has grown and just how incredible he's become.
even his core, like he holds his core now too. Like it's
And that is something we talked about so much,
hmm
and how far that's come. It's just so cool.
yeah. Like it's hard because like there's certain ones that I like, but I'm like, but they're also so good. Like I could go for anyone. Like
This is
at
literally
the end, you and
everybody's
I have to
game.
kind of we'll try to do our predictions, but
Yeah,
I
it
it's
is
anyone's game
anyone's
because
game.
like
It really
everybody
is.
loves everybody. Like people have like put comments of like, who do you want to win? And like it's all five of them. There's
It's
not
hard.
one specific like ringleader for everybody.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. And like I know people will comment and say like, well, Chandler's got that dance experience. That has nothing to do with it, because it literally your dance training is its own thing, but it's different dance training, and it is a totally different ball game. And to watch the growth of all these dancers and to watch their dedication to this show and to their numbers and to everything has just been incredible. And it really can be anybody's game at this point. So
100%.
yeah.
Our next one was Ilona and Alan with the Paso Doble. She looked beautiful. Like that costume, like
Oh, stunning.
stunning. And the Paso Doble was a very good fit, I think, for her, just with how fierce and how strong that dance is. And like I was actually quite impressed with the Paso Doble for
Hmm.
her, like because of the power and strength that she has and control. She was able to put that in, and like it was sharp and super clean. There were some little like hiccups I felt with some of the timing on like
Hmm.
some of the ball changer like just hits,
Erected
but
arms. Yeah.
yeah. Um Overall it was a very good dance, but like I just loved how confident and like gorgeous she looked and how she held herself.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like in the intro solo, I wish there was a little bit more of like the hit and flow differentiation. Because I felt like we needed a little bit more of that just when she was individually on her own. But that I'm sure in and of itself, starting the routine like that is a little nerve-wracking. So you're still getting into the feel of it and the vibe of it. And I feel like once she sunk in with Alan, I think it just worked really well, and it was a really awesome dance for her. She is by far our I think our most improved, and just has come such a long way. I
Yeah,
love it.
I would agree. Especially from like I think back to the first week, I was like, I don't really
Mm-hmm.
know if she's gonna last that long. But I'm so glad because really, and like she worked. It wasn't like she was just like, oh, all of a sudden it clicked. No, I felt like she worked at it. And like you saw her put in the time and effort. She did a funny TikTok today. I don't know if you saw it, where it was like you get 110 and now you think you can choreograph a dance, and it's Mandy Moore telling everyone like all the choreography, and she's
Yep.
like telling da 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 like Mandy, and then like she's behind Mandy going, yeah, yeah, yeah. It was so funny. It's so cute. If you haven't seen it, look it up.
I will go watch it. That sounds adorable.
Ezra commented, the fact that you both have the same energy or something like that. It was just really funny. It was like, yeah.
That's great. Oh my gosh.
And then we had Danny and Whitney with the Viennese waltz. And I believe he messed up with timing. Is this
Yep.
the one where he messed up timing?
Yep.
Yeah. Um, he's beautiful. I do have to agree though with Derek. And like he does really good dances, but I don't feel the emotion sometimes. I feel like it's just very analytical to him, and like the movement of like this comes first, then this. He's not an actor, so you don't see that, but if he could tell the story also with his face, I think it would connect more to the audience at home and be more drawn into the dance.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
just like it was on dedication week, right? Something that
right.
he was truly embodying and truly throwing that emotion into, and that's why that will be a memorable performance. But
And I
yeah.
think it was so memorable for him because he directly related to it. So that tells me that like Whitney's got to do something that he directly connects with to be able to relay the emotion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he's another one that I just feel like, these football stars, not all of them, because we've had some really fabulous football stars in here. But I do feel like, sometimes there's that disconnect and then we lose them, halfway through the season or whatever because they're just not connecting. However, Danny is finding a way to connect to that audience. He's still here and he's still doing really well and has grown and come a very long way. And you get to see that football background and how that ties into dance, and it's just been a really cool thing to see. So I appreciate everything that he has put forth, and I hope this week having redemption and having freestyle will give him a really solid chance to skyrocket and stay at the top or near it, or I don't know. Such a good chance for anyone.
Yes. And we had Steven and Riley with the cha-cha. Um, remember the stance?
I felt like so with this one, like I really felt like for once, and it was a tough rhythm to stick with, but I feel like he really super kept that timing on point, which is really hard with this dance because this song was just the rhythm was all over the place, but he found that groove and that vibe and he stayed right in that pocket and just went. And it was wow, it was fabulous for me. I loved it.
I know this is gonna sound bad because they are like my favorite couple. I like the only thing I can remember about this dance is that I thought it was funny because Ilona at the beginning of her Paso Doble went from like guy to guy to guy from, and then in his
Yep,
dance is
was
the
the
other
same thing.
Olympian went to girl to girl to girl.
Yes.
And like I just remember that choreography like piece and I was like, oh. But like I'm looking at his scores 889 and I don't even remember why he got those scores.
I definitely didn't feel like they were high enough. Like I really thought, like especially if we are talking about every individual's trajectory and every individual's 9 or 10 or whatever. Not that I think it was a 10 for him, but I think straight nines across the board he would have deserved simply because he stayed on time and he stayed within the pocket of the music and he did all of those things that they've been telling him to do the entire season. So I just feel like he was severely underscored with this one.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
What she said. Because then remember how I said
it's fine.
I was a little out of it?
It's all right. It's all
I,
right. We got you.
like
We
I
got you.
really can't recall this right now, so I
We
apologize,
got you.
everybody.
Don't worry about it.
And it's really bad because Chandler and Stephen are my two favorites.
That's all right. No big deal. All right, moving on. So now we started the next half here. Chandler and Brandon came back on the floor with a box trot.
And they should have had a perfect score, although Carrie Ann thought her feet came off the floor for a
They
lift,
did
which they did, and
more than
took off a
once.
point. But like I like I struggle because she doesn't take points off for other things. So, and other
No,
people doing
but
this.
in that defense, Carrie Ann, for the entire thing of Dancing with the Stars, she has always been the lift person. The second I saw her feet come off of the floor, I could literally hear Carrie Ann in my head saying, "Your feet came off of the floor. I got to take off a point." Literally, I could hear her voice in my head because it's just what she has always done. So I am glad that she stuck to that because you're right. We've had a lot of things with Carrie Ann this season. I'm glad that she stuck to something that she has been literally stuck on her entire career with Dancing with the Stars.
And I have to say, like you and I've talked about this, it makes sometimes better dances without the rules. But I like the rules because that's
Yeah,
what makes the freestyles so
it's
special.
so awesome. Right,
And I
right,
really feel like we need to bring some of these rules back and
right.
be a little bit more harder on it.
Yeah. I was laughing at Derek. Did you see Derek's post this week about when he was young and he was on Dancing with the Stars and he was yelling at the judges
Yeah.
backstage because his partner was crying and he was literally just like, "Well, I can't believe that they're talking about pointed toes and there's other things that they could be talking about." And he's just like feisty baby Derek.
And I loved him then too.
So funny. That really just made me giggle. And I think this had a lot to do with it, but like I said, that's always been Carrie Ann's thing. So I'm glad that she stuck to that rule, right? Being a big
Mhm.
rule here. And I mean, it was fun. It had a lot of movement. It was dramatic. It was intense. It was fun. But hopefully we can go back to being more rule followers come next season because I would really like to see more of that. I totally agree.
Um, then we had Joey and Jenna, the Pasta Doble. And this is one other one that I'm gonna let Alicia talk about.
Oh, it's fine. So okay, you all can disagree with me or agree with me. It doesn't really matter, but I do feel like the little stumble that our judges talked about with taking some points off here, I saw it. Like I knew it was there and I totally recognized it. I did think it was awesome, and I'm not even really sure what caused the stumble. I don't know if it was like a shoe thing or a foot thing or whatever. But I saw it, I felt it, and because my thing is like I try to type my notes in before the judges talk because then I love to
Yeah, I
see
do
like how
too.
that compares. Um, and it was there. So I do have to say I enjoyed it otherwise, and I thought it was strong, and I thought he had a really great presence in there. So I thought it was a good one otherwise.
I just remember with this number that I was like, oh, come together. I wouldn't have really thought for
A
that for
pasta
a
with it.
Paso Doble, but I actually thought it worked pretty well.
Yep, totally.
Um, and then Ilona and Alan for the Viennese waltz. So this one's interesting because you got a 10-9-10. For me, with my notes on this one, the thing that she is so strong, she doesn't have the flexibility. So, and I think that's the struggle of like her with like the lean and the form to like get that flexibility in her back and the turn and like properness for it. So it's really tricky in that sense. Um, and so like for me, like that's the piece that was missing was that flexibility. So
Mhm.
I'm in agreement more with Derek on this with the 9 versus the 10. It was beautiful for her, but I think she needed to work a little bit more on the extension and flexibility, but I don't know really the capability that she could do in such a short time with the
Well,
beginning.
yeah, and that you got to think about like muscles and the way that our muscles work, and you have to imagine the type of training that she's used to doing, especially in her upper body being a rugby player, and how all of that affects, you're right, that ability to draw the body back and
Right.
to expand and to provide that flexibility. So yeah, so I mean I totally get where you're coming from. I thought it was really beautiful though, and it
It
really
was a
brought this
beautiful
like
dance,
this
don't get me
great
wrong.
smile. Yeah, you're just saying I
And the
understand where you're coming from.
connection, and they had a really good connection. I know like that was the whole
Yes,
piece between her and Alan. I'm just looking at more the technical side, and that was like my technical note for it.
absolutely. I feel like it was, it really brought a smile to my face, and I really enjoyed it. Now, okay, the thing that I noticed with this after Alona and Alan was done was that they switched the order.
What do you mean?
Steven came next,
Ah, I didn't
and
notice that.
then Danny, which they almost never switched the order, so I have no idea where that came from either.
Changing it up.
Changing it up, I
That might have
guess.
been like a set piece thing.
Yeah, maybe. It totally could have been. Because I was like, well, they switched the order. Wait a minute, that never happens.
Hmm.
What is going on? or they really just wanted Steven and Riley to be the ones up there instead of Danny and Whitney when Julianne took hold and
Yeah.
did Julianne's thing. So it may have even just been a segue into that.
Hmm.
Um, but anyway.
See, now I know this thing because this was the dance where they did the tango and she hit
Yeah.
his glasses and his glasses went flying.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, I actually was very impressed with his hold. And
Mm-hmm.
like the fact that yeah, I felt like he was kind of a pro with the glasses just flinging. Um, and like he like kept it together and it's hard for that depth perception and like normally having your glasses and then like seeing, okay, where is my partner? That's a whole nother challenging component.
And all of a sudden they fly off and your eyes have to readjust and
With the lighting on
totally
there, the
different.
stage lighting in your eyes on top of it, like that's tricky in that sense
And
for
I
him,
thought
I
he
feel
handled it
like.
like a pro.
Yeah,
Like
he
a pro.
did. And like I felt bad because like for part of the dancing, you could see the glass.
I know you kind of like saw him fix him when he could and like tried his best to keep him on there, but it's one of those things that I think what I wish had kind of happened, not that I think it caused a stumble or anything, but I just feel like from like a professional, like a choreography type perspective, is I wish when he was doing the lunge down and he fixed his glasses really quick and then quickly turned his hand to Riley for her to grab it. I feel like instead of fixing them, he should have just taken them off and flung them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like take them off and slide them across the floor. They're going to come off. It's a mistake that they're on, or maybe it's not a mistake. But in that moment, instead of taking the moment to do this and then take your hand and put it where it needs to go, I would have just taken them off, thrown it right into the dance, and just
yeah,
made it a piece of it. But like that had to be so nerve wracking for him to be like, oh my, they're still on my face. Like, what is happening? So
exactly. It feels weird. It's out of place and
Yep, yep, totally.
yeah.
So,
So
but I really loved it otherwise. And
I
yeah,
did too. I honestly probably would have gone with the 10 on this one. This is one that I
yeah,
liked it. Like I felt like it was really like and you felt like the beat on it. But and I the way he led, I felt like he led Riley in that one.
totally,
And that's
totally.
hard for some of those guys. So like I
And especially Stephen, like he was this, so shy and so
yeah,
reserved and like had such a hard time in the beginning. He's another one that really has come such a long way, and it really is cool to see.
yeah. So I really enjoyed that number, the sharpness of it too. And then after that
Now,
we had
hold on, because we have this amazing dance with Julianne
yeah, I was
and
about
the
to go into
guys.
that.
Okay, good. But like, okay, but here's my thing. We talked about this with the 500th episode of like, where were all of these dances? Like, where were the dances like that? This was so much fun, so out of care, so like unexpected and
Right.
phenomenal. Where were those in the 500?
You could have done that with like all these like different pros.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was like, what is happening right now? Where was this last
I feel like they listened to everybody get mad about the 500th episode and they're like, okay, let's throw it in
Julianne want to
now.
dance? Of course she's not gonna take a chance to not dance because she's literally the GOT. Like she really is just phenomenal, and I love watching her dance. So
I
this was
love
like for
like
me, I was like,
Val. Her and Val when they
Val
were
was
dancing, like
fun,
Val was like
fabulous.
whipping her and like and I don't like the pros are just so good when they all dance together and like those are those numbers that I love and
Yeah, the little fill-ins throughout the whole night, even with like the little
I
troop members, they were so fun.
I miss Macy's Stars of Dance.
Hmm.
When it used to be the two Dancing with the Stars back in the day, used to be two nighters where it was
Yeah,
like the first night was the actual competition and then the second night was a result show because you
right.
would call in all overnight and then they'd have the result the next day. And on the result show, they did like a Macy Stars of Dance where it was like either they brought in select dancers or it was all the pro dancers and they did something like still to this day, like they did an amazing um like Michael Jackson tribute. I remember
Hmm.
that. They did like that's where Derek did his like rotating box one and there were like some special things along those lines. So that was like a really those dances just stick out to you like myself
Yeah.
in my mind and I miss those.
Right. And like that's what I'm like that's what I feel like we were missing, but I feel like we got some of that this past week,
Hmm.
between Julianne, between a couple of like the little fill-in dances, like that's what we miss. Like that's what I want to see more of. I want to see these pros. They're phenomenal and I want to see them dancing. So I hope that that they'll hear, like I said, hear all that feedback and get all of that. And I hope that we will see more of that
Bring back
coming
the
in the
result
future.
show.
Yeah, I would love
Please.
it.
It fixes a lot of the voting issues too with like the West Coast because they can't vote live anymore.
Right.
Like,
Right.
bring that back. The result show was my, like, I
Much
loved it.
better.
And, like, people in the way the show is blowing up, you
Right.
have the views now. So,
Right.
ABC,
Absolutely.
bring it back, please.
I know. I know. And like I
Okay.
said, it just gives more time there for people to vote and things. So, and then of course we ended our night with Danny and Whitney
And they had a salsa and
salsa. Couldn't remember what it was. Oh yes, with the wing with the sleeves, and then they ripped the sleeves off. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, it's coming back to
yeah,
me
I
now.
don't remember the stance very much.
I remember the sleeves. No, my thing with this dance was as I felt like, and I feel like I've never really said this with Danny,
Wasn't
but
this
I
the one
feel like
where they had like all the lifts? It was like trick after trick
yes,
after
it
trick.
was literally just trick after trick, and there was like no middle. Like,
I
where was the
remember like
footwork?
the transitions. I felt like there were no transitions. Like he
No,
it was like, okay, I hit this move.
right.
Now I hit
It
this move.
was like it was a lot of like just kind of middle hanging out, and then a trick, and then a middle hang out, and then a trick. Like there was no footwork to it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It just kind of it fell flat for me, and I feel like most of Danny's dances don't fall flat, but this one was just
Yeah, not like after we started talking, I was like, oh yeah, that's the one with the tricks.
yep.
Yeah, I agree with you. It
All
was
right, so
My
real
favorite.
fast since it's gonna cut us out here soon. Or prediction. What do you want to do? If you want to just
I'm
predict
going
who's
with
gonna
Chandler.
win? You're going with Chandler. I'm going with Joey and
I,
Jenna.
I'm worried. So like I think Chandler's the best, but I don't know if she has the votes.
I don't either. I'm going Joey and Jenna. I don't know why. I'm kind of stuck. I'm stuck like between them and Steven and Riley just because
I love Steven and Riley. They're my
I do
second
too.
choice.
I do too. So I'm kind of banking on Joey and Jenna winning and my second is Steven and Riley and I don't know. And I love Chandler like so much
I'm
and I
just
would
over The
love to see
Bachelor. I'm
Brandon win.
sorry. I'm over The Bachelor. So
I
like
know,
Bachelor
but he's
Nation, like God
fabulous.
bless you all. Like it's just not my cup of tea, but they
I
keep
don't
winning.
watch it either. I would literally never watch The Bachelor at all. I have not watched it in a million years. But I just really feel like Joey in and of itself, he's the first bachelor to make it this far. And he deserves that trophy. He really does deserve to win. He has come such a long way. But at the same time, like I would love to see Brandon win. I would love to see Brandon win his first trophy. Like he just had a stellar season from like a choreography perspective and just a growth perspective as far as a pro. Brandon has come exponentially far. So I would love to see him and Chandler win. And I'm just like at the same, I don't know. I have no
I
idea
know.
what's gonna
Well, that's the
happen.
thing. It's anyone's game. It just depends on the votes and the way like it's record voting. Who
It's
knows?
gonna be crazy. I literally am like, that's the only thing that's gonna keep me up till 11 o'clock is just that I really want to know.
I know.
So we're in for a very fun night tomorrow night, everyone. We hope you that you enjoy watching the finale and that's it. Enjoy.
Bye, guys.
See you soon.